Y'all asked for a slowed-down version of the underground city, so don't let it flop. There is all kinds of businesses and warehouses down here. Big trucks. There are miles and miles of roads. You can get lost very easily. Here comes a semi.
That looks like miles and miles and miles and miles.
Finally at my destination. But look. There is also railroad tracks down here.
That goes deep.
You'll see that miners, while looking for gold in Los Angeles, they came across underground cities with reptilians and secret passageways and everything. And this goes back, you know, almost 100 years ago, people. This is in your face 24/7.
Wow, that's crazy.
The underground tunnels of Las Vegas, officially part of the Las Vegas flood control system, have become infamous for the dark and often perilous life that exists beneath the city's bustling surface. These tunnels, designed to manage flash floods and spanning approximately 600 miles, have also become a haven for a hidden homeless population. Hundreds of people live in these tunnels. Many residents are drawn to the relative safety and privacy compared to living on the streets above. The environment is dark, damp, and hazardous. Sudden flash floods can sweep through the tunnels with little warning, posing a severe risk to those living there. The tunnels are breeding grounds for mold and bacteria, leading to respiratory issues and other health problems. Additionally, crime is a significant concern, with reports of violence, drug abuse, and theft. Many tunnel inhabitants struggle with addiction. The relative seclusion of the tunnels makes them a hotspot for drug use and dealing. The lack of law enforcement presence allows various illegal activities to occur. There are reports of assaults and other violent crimes within the tunnels. The isolation and harsh living conditions can exacerbate mental health problems. Some residents suffer from severe mental illnesses without access to proper care or medication. Living in the tunnels represents a struggle for survival against the elements, health risks, and societal neglect. While these
keep door closed. This looks like it'd lead to a staircase. Holy moly, this looks like a it's like a wow.
Oh my gosh, guys.
I'm speechless.
Like you see it in the movies.
Wow. Look at this place.
So vintage.
This is amazing. This is like a time capsule in here.
Oh my god.
This guy is finding all
I want to get on the
shit.
other side of that brick wall.
Yeah, let's do it. I'm with you.
Okay.
I'm going on an adventure.
This is so dark. You got a light?
I do.
Okay, I don't have mine out of my bag. Let's go.
Is that it?
I think this is it.
He's just walking straight like as if he know how to get out of there.
I don't know what was in that room.
Oh, there's a wheelchair.
Dude, this is creepy.
This is...
There's some
Dude,
type
that
of
is so
asylum
creepy.
or something. These guys is deep in the tunnels for real.
Yeah. Whoa. Dude.
Deep in the tunnels.
Oh, that is so classic. Dude. Got that.
It looks like asbestos all over the ceilings.
Yep. It's kind of hot up here, too.
Yeah.
It clearly not can't be underground if we see windows though. I think that's just seeing windows. What is this though? What the hell? This is inside, gang. Stories this high inside. Look at this. It's like some type of asylum or something. Clearly it was people.
Alright,
there.
we're heading back to this first floor. There wasn't much more to see up there.
Hey, we're bad.
Looking fly.
Hi, yo, girl.
Oh, that's too classic.
If they knew where the food was, probably been gone for a long time.
Oh, yeah. Wow. The rats, like, they cleared it out. They probably were living good for a while.
There's still Reese's. Oh.
No. Library or something.
Yeah, that definitely looked like a library or something. It's crazy. Hit that like button on the way in. We diving in this rabbit hole, y'all. Cities under the city. Look at these tunnels. We found the ladder. They going in deep, y'all. Biohazard, and you still going? Sheesh. I'm not going that deep. I ain't going that deep. Let's keep it moving. We don't want no copyrights with that.
The Atlanta Underground. A whole nother original ground level of a city. Buried underground. This one has become nothing more than a tourist trap for Atlanta now, with a silly backstory to go along with it, like all the other underground cities. And here's some footage of somebody taking a little peek at the little tourist trap it's become. Funny how all these cities in the late 1800s, all suffering from great fires and great floods that caused them to bury their ground levels. Just like Seattle, Sacramento, Chattanooga. Buried history. Buried right beneath our feet.
What if I told you that right beneath your feet there's an underground network of tunnels and megacities built for the world's most powerful people? I'm not talking about your average subway system. No, I'm talking about entire cities bigger than New York, but they're
Yo, I never would have thought they would have been able to build a city bigger than New York? Underneath it?
Visible. You've never seen them, you've never even heard of them, but they're there. You really think they build all these subway systems and just stop there, not make anything for themselves? Well, no, because if you think about it, the oligarchs, the tech giants, the royalty, they just built subway systems and left it at that. Do you really believe that? They've got entire luxury cities down there, mega cities with everything they could ever need. We're talking private hospitals, gourmet restaurants, entertainment hubs that make Vegas look like a children's arcade. They don't just survive, they thrive in ways we can't even imagine. And guess what? They're powered by renewable energy that you and I can't even access. The kind of energy that would wipe out the need for oil, gas, or even electricity as we know it. It's so advanced they don't want us knowing it exists.
Alright, we're down here about 3 hours from our
Underground
house.
cities, y'all. Hit the like button on the way in and share the video. Let's
Trying to go into some underground tunnels under this city. Oh, wow. This is it. Whoa, it looks like we got a gate here.
Yeah, they clearly trying to seal it off. Somebody cut through that.
Whoa.
Yeah, somebody cut right through that. They trying to get right in.
Oh, Okay, we gotta get up there.
It's getting juicy now. It's getting juicy.
Oh, that's too creepy.
Yeah,
Somebody kept their child in here.
You put a child in there, gang? See, this... Hold on. These is the type of situations that we be talking about where the kids be missing at, and these is where they be hide them at. Look at this right here. It's a whole bureau there for a baby girl. Look at this.
Hold up. That's the scariest thing I've ever seen. We gotta first figure out what this place even is for. Is it a prison?
This is a child trafficking center. That's what y'all stumbled on. A child trafficking center. Look at this.
Prison? A bunch of old electronics have gone. Ooh. This place is like a hospital.
This looks like one of them type of auction places where they be having them kids at, and they be like fake auctioning them off so they can auction off body parts and stuff like that. I know it sounds a little crazy, but I'm not bugging.
And I don't know if you've ever seen leafcutter ants hive, their colonies. They have these incredibly complex systems that they build in the ground. And the way we've found out about these things
That's
is
probably
by,
what we mimicking.
Unfortunately, flooding them with cement. And then they dig it all out. And when they dig it all out after it's covered with cement, they get to see how insanely complex these structures are. So they have these little pods that they have, these areas that they have, designated where they build these holes. So they dig in and they remove all the dirt, and these long tunnels. And they even have ventilation systems where some of the leaves will ferment. So they have leaves that are slowly decaying and fermenting, and they build them so that these leaves have access to oxygen. They have no idea how these leafcutter ants are communicating, how they know how to do this.
That's crazy.
I got a video that goes right along with that.
Did you know that there's a secret city underneath Seattle?
Alright, we traveling all over. Hold on. I want to get a still shot of that real fast. Let me see.
I got a video that goes right along with that.
Did you know that there's a secret...
Look at that right there. Look at that right there. Look at that complexity. Let's go.
City underneath Seattle. I went and toured it over the weekend, and I'm going to tell you everything I learned. The original city of Seattle is underneath the Seattle that we know now. It was founded in 1851, and they had a major problem: drainage. I mean, they had life preservers on every corner because you could literally drown just crossing the street. So after this huge fire basically burned down the entire city in 1889, the engineers had a solution to this problem: rebuild the city on top of itself. Using mining techniques like hydraulic sluicing, they literally rebuilt the city of Seattle 1 or 2 stories above the original storefronts. And they didn't just fill in the ground underneath. They reinforced it with brick walls and arches and left all of the original storefronts that are still there to this day. If you visited Seattle, you've probably noticed these skylights on the sidewalks, and these were meant to provide natural sunlight to the underground. So back then, during the day,
Oh, so that's what that's for. Because I seen that in New York or a lot of different places. So the sun could go through it, but the water can't. Okay, we're getting somewhere.
these were normal businesses. And then at night, the original storefronts thrived. It became extremely easy to conceal crime underground, especially because all of the police and politicians were in on it and cashing out. So things like prostitution and gambling and speakeasies during Prohibition thrived up until around the 1970s, which was not that long ago.
Yeah, that is very, very, very fascinating. I gotta say, like, I know that in the town that I grew up in, there was a lot of tunnels. You know, these tunnels exist in multiple towns in multiple places, or these underground cities hidden. And you got to think, like, do you need tunnels to traffic booze? Because that's what they say a lot of these tunnels are for trafficking alcohol and drugs.
No,
but,
we know they was using it for a lot more other stuff than that,
gang. Put them in a box. What do you need tunnels for? You need tunnels to traffic humans.
Well, I think the tunnels were already there, so whatever they use them for is whatever they use them for. So they could use it for all kinds of nefarious
Good
reasons.
way to put that.
But yet there are tunnel systems that are everywhere. Seattle. So you're telling me they started to build a city in a place that flooded like crazy. And their answer to flooding a city would be to build a city on top of the flooded city? Okay, so wouldn't it be all flooded underneath in the underground part? Right? That already flooded? So you're going to build on top of that. But wouldn't it just be all wet under there?
That makes sense, right?
Why wouldn't they just build somewhere else? Right? Like, this place is so valuable they have to build. I mean, why did they build Seattle in the first place? What was even there? A place that flooded a lot? They had life preservers on the street. Does anybody believe that garbage?
Why would they have life preservers on the street? Just like because random floods would come into the city or something? Like, what are they alluding to?
It's one of the stupidest things I've ever heard. And they said, oh, they reinforced it and they put bricks and all this stuff down there. No, guys, like, that is when we talk about the mud flood. We talk about all that weird stuff that's been buried.
Yeah.
That stuff was obviously above ground, and now it's not. And what happened, what caused the stuff to sink, I don't know.
These people called the ant people. Go to the Cairo Museum, you see the ant people depicted there that took them to underground chambers. The structure was built to keep them alive, not by them, by the gods. And this one was discovered by a farmer. And when they opened it up and went down there, it can hold up to 30,000 people going down 12 stories deep into the ground. No sign of any collapse. 14,000 ventilation shafts leading to the highest levels to bring oxygen to the people at the deepest level. And even areas for worshiping and cattle, livestock. Darren is an amazing underground city. Darren is an underground base built in ancient times thousands of years ago that was designed to house over 30,000 people, including livestock. And at the deepest levels, you can go down there. There's been no signs of collapse. And there's 14,000 ventilation shafts that go to the deepest levels to bring oxygen no matter how deep you are in the place. And there's one gigantic rolling stone door that an average small person can just roll with their hand and seal it from the inside, but from the outside it's impenetrable.
On share.
That was crazy. I think they trying to hide it, B.
Would you believe me if I said there was a 200-mile underground city made entirely of salt? The Wieliczka salt mine in Poland has been continually operating for over 700 years, reaching more than 1,000 feet deep. Only 2% of the entire mine is actually open to the public, but that includes the beautiful St. Kinga's Chapel, as well as massive caverns, lakes, and incredible art made of salt. The salt mine even has a health resort.
What's the significance of everything being made of salt, though? I don't understand.
Like COPD, due to the unique microclimate inside the mine. Would you add a place like this to your bucket travel list?
I don't know. This is what? 16 stories beneath? So that's like the project building going downward, right?
We noticed a closed-off art on NYC subway and realized it could open. So we came back at 3 a.m. We found a secret underground tunnel roadway. More abandoned city vehicles. We went through another door and found something more interesting. Found another tunnel system.
Go ahead. Nosy as
fuck. We tried going further down these lost tunnels. We've realized we were in uncharted territory.
It's gated for a reason, gang.
What could these tunnels be used
Y'all
for?
don't even know if y'all gonna make y'all way back. I don't understand. People don't even know they're gonna make their way back. Why do you keep going more and more deep?
It's my old neighborhood. Man, this brings back a lot of memories.
Keep them to yourself, Pop. Covered with plywood and surrounded by a fence. Even more surprising, he discovered through his lawsuit against the city there are more hidden rooms all the way down Washington Avenue.
You don't walk on a sidewalk thinking that it's a suspended bridge. It just wouldn't cross your mind.
Court records show these pictures taken inside the room he fell into. You can see the ceiling in the hidden basement room is made of block glass, made that way in the early 1900s so shopkeepers could use the natural light. You can see the more than 100 years of corrosion and the thin layer of concrete laid right over it. Fox 2 got access to another example, this hidden room under a sidewalk near Washington. Court records show a construction company in 2001 looked into filling 15 hidden basements. When the city apparently took no action, an engineer wrote this letter addressed to Otis Williams, who then headed the St. Louis Development Corporation, or SLDC. It says, "We were directed not to contact any building owners for further investigation or correspondence as to the conditions, responsibilities, or liabilities related to the basement extensions. There was to be no publicity related to the basement extensions. There was to be no publicity related to any potential problems or adverse issues." The city's also not talking to Fox 2. The mayor's office simply responding, quote, "Due to pending litigation, we cannot provide a comment at this time."
Family, you see this complicated carving? It's an important piece of history and a small part of a huge underground city. We have been taught that the world used to look like this 200 years ago. And look at this family, not even 100 years later, it looked like this. But you know what, family? If you dig deep enough in the books, you will find the evidence. Look at this, family. This is a tunnel system that leads to a huge underground city in England, Liverpool. And most of the underground railroad systems that you see right now, they have already been used for maybe hundreds and hundreds of years. A fact is, family, that it's impossible that an area goes from this to this in not even 100 years. Or like this, 100 years ago. Family, look at the video. And family, look at this. This is a huge underground city in Turkey.
I think he's on to something. This is definitely how those entrances be, like right in plain sight. This is one of those plain sight entrances right here. Right here. Now, I don't know what they digging for. This could be another one, but what are they digging for though? Do they know what they digging for? This look like Manhattan too. I hope they not trolling. Well, they really going down. They really going down there. My thing is, do you trace yourself as you go down there? Are you backtracking yourself? Are you marking your territory? Like I don't understand. Are you like? Are you preventing yourself from getting lost in there? Cause that's crazy. I would have to figure out a way to prevent myself from getting lost, cause that joint looks crazy. How you gonna find your way back out of that joint, bro? How are you gonna find your way back out of there? And I'm pretty sure once you start walking in there, the way how curious they is, they just start going in and deeper for more and more and more of the action. Yeah, it look like they just want to go deeper and deeper and deeper and just stay there until they can't find their way out. What? A plane was down there. What? There's some galactic or something going on here. Incubators.
These are the mole people that live in tunnels beneath the Las Vegas Strip. What happens when it floods? As many
Oh, they got joints under Las Vegas too. Yeah, they really trying to connect these joints to all states. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, something like that.
It's just a map. I think they already did
I
it.
came here on vacation, been here 20 years. You hear that all the time. Sometimes they just open the floodgates. Right now, it could open up right now. We all be dead.
Actually?
Yeah, really.
Right there.
And there's no warning? What are they gonna do? Beep, 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 no.
I'm here with
Roy.
And how long you been down here?
About 6 years.
And what's this little guy's name?
This is Heathen.
So how did you end up here in these tunnels?
My mom died. I wound up foster care. I got out of prison, I hopped on the bus, I stopped at the bus stop across from Jack in the Box.
Yeah. Is it safe down here to live?
Except for during rainy season.
Do you want to get out of this tunnel?
Honestly, I'm not really a fan of society's way of doing things. I choose being outsider. We got one dude actually try to set the tunnel on fire.
Karma, how long you been down here?
Like 4 years.
Okay. How do you like it down here?
Honestly, it's better than up there.
You ever been flooded out of here?
Yeah, seriously, I've ever been through.
Did you get the eye patch down here?
Yeah, I just hurt my eye. I actually tripped.
Do you want to get out of here?
Absolutely, because that's me taking ID, man.
Oh, so you lost your ID?
Yeah, I got my ID stolen the second day I was here.
And that's a pretty common experience?
That's an extremely common experience.
What do you do if you lose your ID down here?
Look, man.
In the early years of the 20th
It's not
century,
that fucking end of the world.
this world was being watched closely. As human beings busied themselves about their various concerns.
It's that same area like we seen before with the guy driving in there with the big pillars. Same thing it looked like.
The earth about their little affairs.
Big pillars, huge ones. Look at
Their
them.
dominion over this small, spinning fragment of solar driftwood, which by chance or
Listen, there's a city underneath America, okay, stretching coast to coast. Look, it was created by a coalition of the wealthiest elitists on the planet, okay? They are basically carrying out some of the most unspeakable experiments you could fathom.
I
Okay,
bet they
things
are. That's what they need all these hidden laboratories for.
There was
Look at all these
an
screens,
infamous
these
criminal known
monitors.
as Dexter Capone in Chicago years ago. They could never catch him, but they knew he was responsible for heinous crimes. So they silently created a clone of him in this underground facility. After the clone was properly brainwashed, they had it do a crime and they recorded the process. They then used this evidence to convict the actual Dexter Capone and sentence him to life in prison. Like, buddy, this city underground is a horror show of possibility. This is a joke for entertainment purposes. Don't come for me.
Have you guys
That's
heard
crazy.
what's been going on in New York? 10 people have been arrested for illegal activity in underground tunnels. To me, this proves that the Tartarian Empire existed. These tunnels are not built overnight. These tunnels have always been here. These mud flood theories are starting to look more like facts now. If you think about it, these underground tunnels go down underground for many, many miles. They built cities on top of a city that was already there. And it makes sense how they have these underground caves and these underground tunnels that connect throughout the city, because
Yeah, cities on top of cities. That's crazy.
in New York. So when you hear the name Tartarian or Tartaria and you link that with mud floods, you would realize that the elites in the past wanted to cover up these elaborate buildings and this elaborate technology, and they took that technology for themselves. And you got tunnels under the church, right? Imagine what type of grotesque activities that they're doing down there.
Right.
Today's theory, the civilization of Tartary, which was once a powerful empire that covered a large part of the
Tartary.
Eurasian continent, was destroyed by this event, and its existence was deliberately erased from history by the ruling elite.
So there was a race too. That's why we don't hear no much about them anymore. The Tartarians. They must have had something they ain't want to give up. That's how it
Underground
happens.
city in America.
He's capping. That was a high night for him in the hotel. It's one of those go deep down joints.
This is crazy. Imagine chickens were disappearing in a hole in your basement. When you dig up the hole, you find a whole mythical city of Darankuo, an 8-level, 5-square-mile fortress designed to hold 20,000 people and livestock.
What?
Work areas, churches, stables, and apartments. And it connects to another city through a tunnel 5 miles away. Construction started in the 8th century before Christ and housed many different groups of people, from the Byzantine Wars, the incursion of Timur, to Armenians using it to avoid the massacre of Adana in 1909. By 1923, they pushed the Christian Armenians out and this place becomes myth.
Then 40 years later, this dude rediscovers it in his basement. Dude's house had to feel haunted as fuck.
Troubling discovery underscoring the dire homeless situation in Los Angeles. A man living in an underground utility vault in Little Tokyo. Now, the vault he was living in is located near a downtown museum.
And tonight, museum security and utility officials are taking action. KTLA 5's John Fenolio joining us now with the story. John?
Lou and Glenn, good afternoon to you. These underground utility vaults are supposed to be secured for safety, but apparently not all of them are. And as LA's homelessness crisis worsens, some unhoused individuals are taking advantage of the subterranean spaces.
Surveillance video captures a homeless man lifting the lid to an underground utility vault and stuffing a backpack inside.
We take the safety of our employees, of our volunteers, and of our guests very seriously.
Doug Van Kirk is the CFO of the Japanese American National Museum in downtown LA. He says security guards noticed the incident unfolding Monday evening on Alameda Street next to the building.
The security guards noticed the incident, called our director of security who came down.
A short time later, museum security watched as the man opened the lid to another vault and climbed inside. That's when they called police. The vaults typically contain water and natural gas valves or electrical lines. In this case, LAPD says it was a water meter. Inside the vault, we saw empty food containers and other debris. There is no access to the museum from the vaults, but Van Kirk says their close proximity to the building and the presence of people camping inside is a serious fire concern.
There are pipes leading in from utilities into our facility here at JANM.
When officers arrived, they located the man inside one of the vaults. After ordering him to come up, they attempted to search him. LAPD confirming the man became combative and hit one of the officers. He was arrested for trespassing and battery on a police officer.
The individual was taken
he just
away,
did that so he
in
can get a
custody.
place to stay.
They searched the backpack, and our understanding is they found a firearm or a replica of a firearm.
We did speak with LADWP. They say these vaults are not permanently sealed because workers need access to them for various reasons, including maintenance. They did tell us that these two vaults in particular were re-secured and locked earlier today.
The squadron flew under the earth, into the earth. It turns into this lush and green area, and he can't even believe his eyes. But that's just the beginning of his extraordinary
we're seeing
story.
just
he tells
entrances
how
all over,
of a
gang.
sudden he starts to see a shimmering rainbow city that's made of crystal. His airplane is taken control of when he suddenly sees these flying disc-shaped objects around them that lead him to the ground. Whereupon he's escorted into a cavernous type of an area where he meets a being he refers to as the Master in his diary.
The Master.
The Master tells him that they're highly disappointed in what humans are doing with nuclear weapons and how they've recently destroyed Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And they really are concerned about what is going on the surface of the planet. They tell Admiral Byrd that they hope that humanity will ultimately stop.
Okay, I'm in Denver, Colorado, okay? The airport is right here to my left. Now, listen, I work road construction. I'm going to show y'all something, okay? So, we have these manholes. And each manhole tells you what it is. I'm going to show you each manhole in a 1,000-foot radius, okay? This little one says CP testing. Stay with me now. Just stay with me. Okay, this next one on the sidewalk is a storm sewer. So the water goes there. It says storm sewer, okay? This one, sewer. This one, water. This one, water. Water. This one right here, electric. Now stay with me, okay? Remember, stay with me. It's actually, stay with me, okay? Now, here we are working. And then all of a sudden, on the sidewalk, now let me remind you, I said the Denver airport, look, there's an airplane right there. The Denver airport is now right here on my right, okay? We all know about under the Denver airport. Now, look at this. Okay, in a 1,000-foot radius, I've showed you the manholes. They were, you know, in the road. Tell me why on the sidewalk, this one, it doesn't have anything about what it is. It only says, you know, who made the top or whatever. And look at the pattern on it. It's not like any of the other ones. And it's huge.
Yeah, that looked like some out of this world shit.
Like you can fit peoples in there. So, conspiracy? Nah. Okay, I'm in Denver, Colorado. Okay, the airport is right here to my left.
This is crazy.
Now, listen, I work road construction. I'm going to show you.
That's crazy. Stay tuned, gang.